There are moments in a lifetime when something reaches for you before you reach for it. And this is one of them. Feel the quiet pull inside your chest, like an ancient memory stirring awake. You did not stumble into this by chance. Something older than thought, wiser than time, placed this book in your hands. Listen closely now. The universe moves with purpose. And tonight, it has chosen to speak to you directly. There is a door in your story that has been waiting to open. A threshold that only appears when you are ready to cross it. You may not feel ready. You may still doubt. You may still carry the weight of unanswered questions. But readiness rarely feels like confidence. It feels like longing. It feels like the quiet ache for something more. And that ache is a compass that has led you here, to these words, to this moment of awakening. Somewhere beyond your conscious mind, an inner signal has been calling for change, a shift, a renewal, a remembering. You may have ignored it, silenced it, or tried to outrun it. Yet, here it is again, rising through the noise of your life, whispering that there is more for you than what you have accepted. This introduction is not the start of a book. It is the return to your own soul's frequency, calling you back home. Every soul receives an initiation, a sacred moment when the outer world falls away and the inner world steps forward. You are entering yours now. As you listen, imagine the universe leaning closer, drawing a circle of protection and revelation around you. The air shifts. The energy deepens. Something in you recognizes this vibration. Something in you remembers. You were meant to hear these words exactly when you did. If life has felt heavy, chaotic, or unclear, know this: you are not lost. You are being recalibrated, not punished, not delayed, redirected, prepared. You are standing at the edge of a new timeline, one where your power, your intuition, and your destiny rise from beneath years of doubt and forgetting. This book is not here to show you who you should become. It is here to remind you who you have always been. So breathe gently. Allow your shoulders to soften. Let the mind grow quiet. You were guided here for a reason that will soon reveal itself. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time, aligned with the whisper of the universe and the memory of your own becoming. The journey begins now, and it begins with you saying yes to the call that brought you here. Before we dive deeper, if the insights in this video have stirred something within you, resonating with the timeless pursuit of mastering the mind, unlocking hidden potential, and embracing both shadow and light, please share this message with others who are seeking clarity and transformation. Subscribe to continue exploring the depths of self-mastery and personal growth with Mind Unlocked audiobooks. Chapter 1. The moment you were meant to find this. There comes a moment in every seeker's path when something arrives with a quiet certainty, as though it has been circling your life for years, waiting for the exact breath when you would finally be ready to receive it. This is that moment. Feel the subtle alignment forming around you, the way invisible threads tighten into place. Nothing about this encounter is random. You were magnetized here by a deeper current that has been guiding you all along. Perhaps you felt a pull without understanding why, an instinct that made you pause, click, open, or listen. These small motions are not accidents, but signals, gentle invitations from a universe that communicates in synchronicities rather than sentences. It speaks in timing, in nudges, in improbable moments that arrive with perfect precision. Look back gently and notice how many tiny choices led you here. Every one of them carried purpose, even the ones that felt like mistakes. When the universe needs to reach you, it does not shout. It orchestrates, it arranges patterns, redirects your steps, and places certain truths directly in your path. You may not have recognized the signs at first, yet they formed a constellation around your awareness. And now, as you listen, something inside you recognizes this timing. Not your mind, your memory. The soul has its own clock, and it does not tick according to human hours or human fear. If part of you wonders why this found you now, breathe into that question. There was an inner shift, subtle but real, that opened a doorway only you could activate. Maybe it was the exhaustion of repeating the same cycles. Maybe it was a sudden longing for clarity. Maybe it was the quiet realization that something had to change. Whatever it was, that frequency created a match. And in that match, this chapter revealed itself to you. Think of this moment as a key turning in an ancient lock. One you didn't know you carried. A lock formed by old beliefs, forgotten dreams, and layers of doubt collected over years. Yet the key fits now because you have shifted, you have expanded, you have grown into the version of yourself capable of receiving this message. Even if you doubt that, trust the part of you listening beyond the mind. It knows the truth of this alignment. Many feel lost before they are found by the message meant for them. Confusion is often the threshold before clarity. You might have carried worry, frustration, or a lingering sense that life was preparing you for something unnamed. That feeling was not emptiness. It was preparation. You were not drifting without direction. You were being guided toward the vibration that could meet you where you truly are. That vibration is what you are hearing now. Let your awareness stretch gently into the possibility that this is a turning point. Not dramatic, not explosive, but deeply real. A quiet shift within the spirals of your timeline where new potential begins to unfold. When a book finds you at the right moment, it does more than teach. It activates. It reminds you of the version of yourself that has been waiting beneath the noise. It invites you to step into the current that has always carried your name. So, as this first chapter settles into your energy, feel the awakening beginning. Feel the recognition rising like dawn behind your ribs. You were meant to find these words in this exact season of your becoming. Not earlier, not later. Now, the universe delivers what is aligned, not what is rushed. And in this alignment, a new path opens, one that leads not forward, but inward, where your truest guidance has been waiting patiently for you to arrive. Chapter 2. The Calling of the Soul. Before the mind ever understands, the soul begins to stir. Its whispers arrive in ways that defy logic. A sudden heaviness in places that once felt easy, an unexplained longing, a sense that life is trying to speak to you from beneath its surface. These are not random sensations. They are signals from the deepest part of you, reaching upward like roots seeking light. asking you to return to the path you were always meant to walk. You may recall moments when something inside you tugged gently, insisting that there was more, even when everything appeared fine from the outside. Those nudges were not doubts. They were directions. The soul does not communicate through fear or urgency. It speaks through subtle knowing, through the feeling of being pulled towards something you cannot yet name. When the calling begins, it is quiet but persistent, a vibration you feel before you understand. Often this calling emerges most clearly in times of discomfort, when something in your life stops fitting, when familiar patterns begin to feel hollow, when you sense that the life you've built no longer expands you. Such moments are misunderstood as breakdowns, but they are invitation. The soul uses emptiness to create space, uses dissatisfaction to open new doors. Pain becomes a lantern, illuminating what can no longer be ignored. Think back to the times you just knew something was right for you. Even when it made no sense, you knew without evidence, without explanation, without approval. That knowing was your soul speaking in its purest form. It has always guided you long before you had words for intuition or destiny. And now, as you listen to these words, that same inner voice rises again, ready to lead you into the next expansion. The ego wants safety, predictability, the familiar, but the soul wants growth, depth, alignment. This is why the two often pull in different directions. When your soul calls, it may feel like being stretched between who you were and who you are becoming. That tension is sacred. It means the old identity is loosening its grip, making room for a higher version of you to emerge, one shaped by truth rather than fear. If you felt restless lately, or strangely alert to symbols and signs, know that this is part of the calling. The universe speaks through repetition, through dreams, through chance encounters that feel deliberate. When you're meant to shift, everything around you becomes a messenger. Even the silence becomes meaningful. The calling gathers strength until it becomes impossible to dismiss, urging you toward transformation. Let yourself soften into the idea that this book is not an answer, but a response to the frequency you've been emitting, to the desire that has been rising from within you. You asked, even if you didn't realize you asked, not with words, but with energy. And the universe responded by placing this guidance in your path. You do not hear this now by accident. You hear it because your soul has been asking to be heard. So allow this chapter to awaken the truth inside you. You have not been wandering aimlessly. You have been listening, sensing, preparing. The calling of your soul is not a demand. It is an invitation to remember who you are beneath the noise of expectation. Follow its pull gently. Trust its rhythm. It has brought you here for a reason. And what unfolds next will reveal the depth of the journey you are finally ready to claim. Chapter 3. Signs you've been guided. There are moments when life seems to move with an unseen rhythm, arranging events and encounters with impossible precision. These are not coincidences. They are communications. The universe rarely uses words, but it speaks constantly through patterns, symbols, timing, and repetition. When something appears again and again, it is not random. It is guidance softly illuminating the next step on your path. waiting for you to notice its meaning. You might recall seeing the same numbers repeating, hearing the same phrase from different voices, or stumbling upon the same idea from multiple directions. These echoes form a trail, each one pointing to what your soul is ready to learn. Most people dismiss these patterns as chance, but chance does not repeat itself with intention. The universe is subtle, not silent, and the more you pay attention, the clearer the whispers become. Consider how often a song found you at the perfect moment, carrying a message you didn't know you needed, or how a stranger said something that struck your heart with impossible clarity, or how you felt drawn to someone, someplace, or something without knowing why. These moments are small in appearance, but enormous in impact. They are reminders that you are being guided more gently and more consistently than you realize. Think about the times you ignored a sign and later wished you hadn't. That subtle inner nudge, that quiet hesitation, that strange feeling of déjà vu. These were not warnings from fear. They were directions from intuition. When energy aligns, it speaks through sensation rather than logic. And though the mind may argue, the body always recognizes truth. You have been guided before, even when you doubted what you felt. When the universe wants your attention, it will keep arranging synchronicities until you finally pause long enough to listen. It might bring you the same message through different people. It might pull your gaze to the same symbol. It might even remove something from your life to create space for what you've been resisting. Guidance does not always feel gentle, but it is always purposeful. Every sign is an invitation, not a demand. Some signs appear as opportunities that arrive too perfectly timed to ignore. Others show up as obstacles meant to redirect you. The universe speaks in both blessings and blockages, shaping your path through what it gives and what it removes. When you shift from frustration to curiosity, the meaning becomes clearer. Every sign has a function. Every alignment has a message. You have been guided more deeply than you know. Open yourself to the possibility that guidance is already all around you. Slow down your breath. Let your awareness widen. Notice what keeps repeating, what feels different, what captures your attention without reason. These are the doorways through which the universe reaches you. When you begin to listen with presence instead of pressure, the signs become unmistakable, forming a map only you can interpret. And now, as you absorb this chapter, feel the truth settling into your intuition. You are not wandering in darkness. You are walking through a constellation of messages designed specifically for you. The signs have been there all along. This book is simply another one, clearer, louder, more aligned. The universe has been speaking. You are finally listening. Chapter 4. You are not lost, just redirected. There comes a point in every journey when the road you trusted dissolves beneath your feet. What once felt clear becomes uncertain, and you may believe you've taken a wrong turn. But the truth is softer, deeper, and far more compassionate than that. You are not lost. You are being led toward a path you could not have discovered by remaining where you were. Redirection is often disguised as confusion. Think of the moments that felt like collapse, when something you depended on slipped from your hands. At the time, it may have felt like failure, like the universe was turning its back on you. Yet here you are, still breathing, still searching, still capable of rising. The very fact that you are listening now means those losses were not endings. They were gentle pushes away from what could not carry you forward. Life has a way of closing doors with purpose, even when the purpose isn't immediately visible. A relationship ends. A plan breaks. An opportunity evaporates. And in the emptiness that follows, a new direction quietly forms. Redirection rarely arrives with clarity. It arrives with a subtle invitation to trust. The universe doesn't remove anything without preparing something in its place, even if the replacement is still unseen. There may have been nights when you questioned everything: your choices, your timing, your worth. But uncertainty is not proof of misalignment. It is a sign that your old self is dissolving, so your higher self can step forward. When the familiar becomes uncomfortable, it is because your soul has outgrown the space you once lived in. You needed expansion, and expansion often begins with discomfort. Look back gently and notice the patterns. The situations that dissolved were already draining your energy. The doors that closed were no longer meant to be walked through. The people who left were not aligned with the future version of you. Redirection saved you from paths that would have dimmed your spirit. What felt like loss was actually protection, guiding you toward a timeline where you can finally rise. Every route in your life carries a hidden message. This way, not that way. Sometimes the universe shifts your path with subtle adjustments, and other times it intervenes boldly, forcing you to release what you tried to cling to. Do not confuse this intervention with punishment. It is an act of alignment. You are being shaped, refined, and positioned for something more fitting to your soul's truth. As you walk forward, allow yourself to trust the unknown. Let your shoulders relax as you consider that every detour was divinely orchestrated, not to delay your destiny, but to bring you into deeper harmony with it. Life knows where you belong. It knows what you're ready for and what you're not. Trust that its redirections are invitations towards something richer, more resonant, more you. And now, as this chapter settles into your awareness, breathe into the possibility that nothing has gone wrong. You have not wasted time. You have not missed your calling. You have simply been rooted toward the timeline meant for your expansion. Every step, even the confusing ones, has guided you here. You were never lost. You were being shown the way home. Chapter 5. The Power of Presence. There is a doorway within every moment, a silent threshold you can cross when your attention returns fully to the now. Most people rush past it, consumed by memories of yesterday or worries about tomorrow. But the present moment is where every shift becomes possible. When you anchor yourself here, even for a breath, you reconnect with the field of clarity that has been waiting for you to slow down and listen. Life becomes heavy when the mind carries too many timelines at once. Regret pulls you backward. Anxiety pushes you forward. Presence brings you home. When you breathe deeply and allow your awareness to settle into this exact second, you gather your scattered energy. You become whole again. In this wholeness, the universe can finally reach you because presence is the language it speaks most clearly. Think of how many answers have missed you simply because your mind was too loud to hear them. Solutions often hide in silence, in the space between thoughts, in the calm you rarely give yourself permission to enter. When you soften your focus and let yourself just be, even for a few moments, guidance rises naturally. Presence is not passive, it is receptive. It opens you to wisdom already waiting to be received. Try this now. Inhale slowly, exhale even slower, and allow the noise inside you to dim. Notice how your awareness sharpens. Notice how your body feels less heavy. This is the shift that changes everything. When you return to your breath, you return to yourself. And when you return to yourself, you return to the frequency of alignment. The universe meets you where you are truly present, not where you are mentally scattered. Many chase signs, answers, and manifestations, not realizing they cannot receive what their energy is too chaotic to hold. Presence is the stabilizer. It is the clearing of inner static. It is the moment when the subconscious gatekeeper relaxes its grip, allowing new patterns to enter. When you become fully here, even your desires feel closer, as though they have been waiting in the doorway for your attention to return. Consider how often your intuition spoke softly, yet was drowned out by thoughts of what might go wrong. Presence does not erase challenges, but it gives you access to the part of you that can handle them with clarity. In the now, fear loses its momentum. In the now, you stop repeating old stories. In the now, you remember that you're more powerful than the illusions that once overwhelmed you. The universe responds not to your frantic effort, but to your centered awareness. When you slow down enough to feel your own energy, you begin to recognize subtle shifts, subtle messages, subtle invitations. This is why miracles often appear when you least expect them, because expectation tightens the mind while presence opens it. The more you inhabit the moment, the more the path ahead becomes illuminated. As this chapter settles into your energy, allow the truth to resonate through you. Presence is the gateway to flow, the key that unlocks intuition, the bridge between desire and manifestation. You do not need to control the future. You need only to return to this breath, this heartbeat, this moment. Everything you seek becomes clearer when you stop running from the now and begin to live inside it. Chapter 6. Energy never lies. From the moment you enter a room, your energy speaks before your voice does. It carries your beliefs, your emotions, your unspoken stories. It radiates what you've been holding on to and what you've been avoiding. Even when your words attempt to hide your truth, your frequency reveals it with perfect honesty. This is why the universe responds not to what you say you want, but to what your energy consistently broadcasts. If you've ever wondered why certain patterns repeat, look closely at the vibration beneath your thoughts. Fear carries its own signal. So does joy. So does doubt. So does self-trust. Energy is the language of creation, and you are transmitting constantly. When you desire something but emit the frequency of disbelief, the universe mirrors the disbelief, not the desire. You don't attract what you wish for. You attract what you embody. Think of times when you met someone and instantly sensed their intention without a single word exchanged. That instinct is your inner compass responding to vibration. You do the same with experiences, opportunities, and timelines. Your energy becomes a magnet, pulling toward you the situations that resonate with your inner state. This is not punishment. It is reflection. The universe mirrors your frequency with precision. When your inner world is filled with old pain or rehearsed fear, even your desires become tangled. You may ask for love while expecting abandonment. You may pray for abundance while clinging to scarcity. And the universe, neutral and responsive, sends back what matches the deeper signal. This is why honesty with yourself matters. Emotional clarity is energetic clarity. And energetic clarity is what reshapes your reality. Everything shifts when you begin observing your inner patterns without shame. Noticing the fear doesn't make it stronger. Denying it does. When you allow yourself to feel what rises without collapsing into it, your energy loosens. Your field becomes more fluid, more receptive, more aligned. Healing is simply the process of releasing frequencies that no longer match the future you are calling in. Your energy becomes magnetic when your emotions, your beliefs, and your intentions align. This is the essence of inner congruence. When you believe you deserve better, you stop chasing what drains you. When you feel worthy of your desires, you stop shrinking your light. When you trust your intuition, you stop silencing your truth. And in that alignment, your vibration shifts effortlessly into coherence. Take a moment now and sense the field around you. Feel the subtle hum of your presence. Notice how your breath influences your energy, how your thoughts color your aura, how a single intention can steady your entire being. You are not powerless in this process. You are the conductor of your own frequency. With every choice, every thought, every emotion, you shape the timeline you step into next. As this chapter settles into your awareness, remember the phrase whispered in esoteric temples long before these words reached you. It's not your thoughts, it's your agreement with them. When you shift your agreement, you shift your energy. When you shift your energy, the universe shifts with you. Trust this truth deeply now. Energy never lies, and it is always guiding you toward your most aligned self. Chapter 7. From Victim to Creator. There is a turning point in every awakening where you realize life is not simply happening to you. It is happening through you. This shift feels subtle at first, like a quiet awareness rising beneath old stories. But once it arrives, everything begins to change. You start noticing how your reactions shape outcomes, how your thoughts color your world, how your beliefs set the tone for every experience. Power returns the moment responsibility begins. Many people live trapped in the narrative of why me, believing circumstances control their destiny. But the universe is not built around blame. It is built around resonance. When you see yourself as powerless, your energy reflects that helplessness. Life then mirrors the contraction of that belief. Yet when you choose to observe instead of collapse, to respond instead of react, your frequency shifts. In that shift, your reality begins transforming with you. Think about how often you've given away your power to situations, people, or fears, not intentionally, but automatically, because you were never taught another way. The victim mindset becomes a default script, repeated until it feels like truth. But beneath that script is a deeper knowing. You are capable of shaping your path. You are capable of choosing differently. You are capable of rising beyond the patterns that once defined you. The universe responds most powerfully when you decide to step into your role as a creator. This does not mean denying pain or pretending everything is perfect. It means choosing to interpret your experiences through the lens of growth rather than defeat. When you ask, "What is this teaching me?" instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" the entire timeline shifts. Challenges become catalysts. Obstacles become portals. Your power returns with every small decision. The decision to breathe before reacting, to speak truth instead of fear, to set a boundary instead of shrinking, to take responsibility for your own energy. These choices may seem small, but they alter your field. They send a new signal, one that says, "I am awake, I am present, I am participating in my reality." The universe meets that declaration with new opportunities and clearer guidance. Remember the times you changed your attitude and instantly changed the outcome. Or the moments you rose above an old habit and felt something inside you strengthen. These were not coincidences. They were proof of your creative capacity. Even in your lowest seasons, you have shaped your next chapter through your interpretation of the moment. You have held more power than you ever realized. Take a breath now and feel the shift awakening within you. You are not here to be tossed by circumstances or trapped in past narratives. You are here to direct your energy with intention, to shape your life through alignment, and to co-create with the intelligence that breathes through the universe. This is your invitation to reclaim what was never truly lost. Your agency, your vision, your inner authority. As you let these words sink into your awareness, allow the truth to resonate gently but firmly. You are not a victim of your story. You are the author of your becoming. The moment you choose to own your energy is the moment your life begins to transform. Step into that truth now. Step into the role your soul has been preparing you to embrace. You are the creator, and your next chapter begins with that remembering. Chapter 8. Trusting the unknown. Every true transformation begins in a place where clarity has not yet arrived. The unknown stretches before you like a vast, unmarked horizon, and the mind instinctively tries to fill it with fear. But the unknown is not emptiness. It is potential. It is the space where the universe does its most delicate work, shaping outcomes beyond anything your limited perspective could predict. To trust the unknown is to trust that something wiser walks beside you. You may have spent years trying to control every outcome, believing safety comes from certainty. Yet certainty often traps you in repetition. Growth asks for something different. It asks for surrender, for loosening your grip on how things must unfold. When you allow life to move without forcing its direction, you make room for possibilities far greater than the ones your mind rehearsed. Trust is the bridge between intention and manifestation. Think of the times you leaped without a clear landing and somehow found yourself supported, or the moments when plans fell apart only to be replaced by something better. These memories are not accidents. They are reminders. The unknown has held you before, even when you didn't realize it. The universe does not guide you into darkness without planting light along the path. Light you can only see once you take the first step. Often it is the fear of losing control that keeps you stuck. But control is an illusion the mind clings to for comfort. Real power lies in awareness, not manipulation. When you release the need to dictate outcomes, your energy softens, your nervous system settles, your intuition strengthens. You begin to sense subtle signals you once overlooked. The unknown becomes less threatening and more inviting, like a doorway into your next evolution. Life will always ask you to trust before you're comfortable. It will ask you to let go of something familiar, to make room for something aligned. This exchange is sacred. The universe cannot deliver what you truly desire while your hands are full of what you've outgrown. Trusting the unknown is not blind faith. It is choosing faith over fear, choosing expansion over stagnation, choosing possibility over limitation. There is a wisdom that awakens only when you stop trying to predict the path. When you allow the mystery to exist, your inner guidance becomes stronger. You begin to feel pulled rather than pushed. You begin to sense where your energy wants to go, not where your fear wants to hide. The unknown becomes a partner, not an enemy. A companion, not a threat. A field of endless choices waiting to be shaped by your belief. Try this now. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast field of potential. Every direction leads somewhere meaningful, even if you cannot see the destination. Feel your breath steady as you soften into possibility. The mind prefers guarantees, but the soul prefers freedom. And freedom lives in the unknown. Freedom grows where you stop demanding certainty and start trusting the rhythm unfolding through you. As this chapter settles into your spirit, embrace the truth that the unknown is not here to harm you. It is here to elevate you, to stretch you into places your old identity could not enter. Trusting it is an act of self-love, an act of courage, an act of alignment. Let the mystery move you. Let the uncertainty guide you. The unknown is not a void. It is where your next miracle is already forming. Chapter 9. The Law of Alignment. There comes a moment when you realize that wanting something is not enough. Your energy must match the desire you hold. Alignment is the invisible thread that connects intention to manifestation. It is the harmony between your thoughts, emotions, and actions. When even one of these is out of tune, the universe feels the discord. But when they merge into coherence, your desires move toward you with surprising ease. Many people chase outcomes while carrying beliefs that contradict what they seek. They ask for abundance while nurturing scarcity. They dream of love while expecting disappointment. They pray for change while behaving as if nothing will improve. This internal split weakens their signal. Alignment, however, strengthens it. It transforms your request from a whisper into a beacon that the universe cannot ignore. Think of alignment as your soul's true north. When you act from authenticity instead of conditioning, your energy becomes clear. When you honor what you genuinely want instead of what you think you should want, your path straightens. And when you stop settling for what drains your spirit, your field gains strength. The universe responds not to your words, but to the vibration you consistently embody. Imagine tuning an instrument. If even one string is off key, the entire melody feels wrong. Your inner world works the same way. When your emotions contradict your affirmations or your actions contradict your intentions, the energy becomes noisy. Alignment requires honesty, presence, and courage. Not perfection, just truth. When you stop pretending and start responding to your real needs, harmony returns. There is a moment in every awakening when you realize your desires are not random. They are directional. They point toward the path your soul wishes to walk. But that path opens only when you align with its frequency. This means allowing joy, not resisting it. Allowing worth, not questioning it. Allowing possibility, not shrinking from it. Alignment is a practice of remembering your actual identity beneath the doubt. When you align with what you want, you begin making choices that support its arrival. You take inspired steps, not forced ones. You choose expansion over fear. You speak and move as though your desire is already making its way toward you. This embodiment shifts your field. You stop hoping and start becoming. The universe responds faster to becoming than to begging. Becoming is the highest form of alignment. Try this simple inner question. Does this thought, emotion, or action match the version of me I am becoming? If the answer is no, you have identified a point of misalignment, and every point of misalignment is a doorway to transformation. Small adjustments make powerful shifts. Alignment does not require upheaval. It requires consistency, clarity, and a willingness to live in truth rather than habit. As you let these words integrate, feel the subtle recalibration happening within you. Alignment is not about forcing the universe to deliver. It is about preparing yourself to receive. It is the art of stepping into energetic integrity, where your inner state finally reflects the life you are calling in. Walk forward with that clarity. Now let your energy become the signal that guides your next reality into form. Chapter 10. Letting go to let in. There comes a point when holding on becomes heavier than releasing. The mind clings out of habit, out of fear, out of the illusion that control keeps you safe. But the soul knows better. It knows that release creates space for the new. It knows that what is meant for you will never need to be gripped. Letting go is not a defeat. It is an opening, a clearing of the old energy so the next chapter can breathe. You may have kept certain people, memories, or expectations close because they once brought comfort, but comfort can become confinement. The universe cannot pour fresh blessings into hands clenched around what has already served its purpose. Some endings arrive not to punish you, but to redirect you toward wholeness. When you loosen your hold on what no longer aligns, you begin to feel your own energy expanding again. Think of how nature releases effortlessly. Trees let go of leaves without grieving the branches they once decorated. Rivers let go of every drop that flows through them. The sky lets go of storms once the lesson in them has passed. You are made from the same intelligence. Clinging is learned. Release is natural. When you return to that natural rhythm, your spirit feels lighter, clearer, more attuned to possibility. Letting go does not always mean walking away physically. Sometimes it means releasing an identity, a belief, or a storyline that has held you in limitation. It means no longer replaying the past as if it defines you. It means allowing yourself to grow beyond the version of you that learned survival instead of expansion. Release is an inner act, and once it happens inside, the outer shifts follow with gentle inevitability. There may be grief in the process, even when you know the release is right. Grief is simply the echo of attachment dissolving. Do not fear it. Let it move through you like a cleansing wave. Every tear you allow to fall makes space for a deeper truth to rise. You are not meant to carry the weight of outdated stories. You are meant to transform through them and return to your authentic frequency. When you surrender what drains you, your energy becomes a magnet for what uplifts you. This is the paradox. You receive more when you stop grasping. You rise when you stop resisting. You become receptive when you stop defending. The universe moves toward openness, not tension. When your hands, heart, and mind unclench, life can finally deliver what you've been asking for all along. Try whispering this to yourself. I release what is complete. Feel how your body responds. Notice the softening, the shift, the subtle liberation that follows those words. Your energy knows the truth before your mind catches up. Release is not an action of loss. It is an action of alignment. When you let go, you return to your center. And from that center, everything flows with more ease. As this chapter settles into your awareness, trust the wisdom rising within you. You are not abandoning anything. You are making room. You are honoring your growth. You are respecting your destiny. Letting go is the bridge between the life you have known and the life calling your name. Step onto that bridge with grace. What is meant will meet you. What is not will fall away. And both outcomes are acts of love. Chapter 11. The universe is listening. There are truths you speak aloud, and there are truths you whisper only in the chambers of your heart. Yet both are heard. Every intention you set, every desire you hold, every fear you repeat becomes part of the frequency you emit. The universe responds to that frequency like an echo, returning to you the energy you send out. You are not calling into emptiness. You are in constant conversation with creation, whether you realize it or not. You may think your thoughts are private, but your energy is not. When you feel hope, your field brightens. When you feel defeated, your field contracts. When you speak with clarity, your signal sharpens. This is why honesty matters, not for morality, but for resonance. The universe does not require you to be perfect. It requires you to be authentic. Your truth, even when messy, carries a clearer vibration than your forced positivity ever could. Think of the times you felt a sudden alignment after journaling, praying, or speaking a fear aloud. That wasn't coincidence. It was energetic release. When you externalize your inner world, the universe has something to respond to. Intention is a form of direction. It tells life where to flow. When your intentions are vague, life wanders. When your intentions are focused, life organizes itself around that clarity. Most people forget that the universe listens not only to what they ask for, but to what they emotionally believe. If you ask for peace but expect chaos, the expectation wins. If you ask for love but fear abandonment, the fear becomes your signal. If you ask for abundance while believing you are unworthy, the belief carries more weight. The universe does not judge. It reflects the vibration that is consistent. This is why inner dialogue matters. The way you speak to yourself builds the architecture of your energy. Words are not just language. They are frequency. When you tell yourself you are capable, something inside rises. When you tell yourself you are unworthy, something shrinks. The universe hears both. It listens to the tone beneath the thought, the emotion beneath the request, the belief beneath the desire. To deepen this connection, treat the universe as a partner rather than a distant force. Share your dreams with it. Share your fears. Share your gratitude. Speak aloud what you are ready to claim. Write down what you are ready to release. Whisper the truths you are afraid to admit. When you communicate openly, your energy aligns with your intentions and the universe moves in response. Arranging opportunities with quiet precision. Try pausing for a moment now. Place a hand on your heart and let a single intention rise to the surface. Don't force it. Let it appear softly. Feel its weight, its tone, its emotion. This intention is a message transmitted beyond language, straight into the field around you. The universe has already received it. What matters now is your willingness to believe in the dialogue taking place. As this chapter anchors itself within you, remember this: you are not unheard. Every silent prayer, every longing, every hope has been felt by the intelligence that weaves through all things. You are co-creating with a force that listens, responds, and aligns. Speak clearly, intend boldly, feel openly. The universe is listening, and it always has been. Chapter 12. Self-worth sets the tone. Every desire you hold is filtered through the lens of what you believe you deserve. This truth is subtle, yet powerful. Self-worth is not just a feeling. It is a frequency. It is the internal thermostat that regulates what you allow, what you attract, and what you tolerate. When your worthiness is low, your life contracts. When your worthiness rises, your life expands to match it. Everything begins with how you see yourself. You may not realize how often you've settled for less, not because it was all that existed, but because it was all you believed you could ask for. Patterns form around these beliefs. You accept treatment that reflects your inner doubts. You pursue opportunities that match your insecurities. You shrink to fit environments that cannot hold your magnitude. Yet none of this was fate. It was self-worth casting a shadow across your potential. Think of moments when you finally demanded more. Even quietly, something shifted. The world around you responded. People treated you differently. Possibilities began to appear. That shift didn't happen because life suddenly became generous. It happened because your energy changed. When you raise your worthiness, the universe recalibrates. It stops offering what no longer resonates and begins guiding you toward what matches your higher self. Self-worth is not arrogance. It is remembrance. It is recalling that you are a vessel of consciousness, deserving of love, peace, abundance, and alignment. It is allowing the truth of your existence to replace the narratives you inherited from pain, from childhood, from judgment, from comparison. Worthiness is not earned. It is reclaimed. You cannot lose what you were born with. You can only forget it. You may have carried silent wounds that whispered lies about who you are. Wounds that told you to settle. Wounds that convinced you that suffering was noble. But the universe never asked for your suffering. it asked for your openness, your expansion, your self-recognition. When you release the belief that you must struggle to deserve joy, your entire frequency rises. Worthiness welcomes miracles. Unworthiness repels them. Notice the conversations you have with yourself. Are they gentle or are they harsh? Do you build yourself up or do you chip away at your own spirit? Every internal dialogue becomes a signal. When you speak to yourself with compassion, you open the subconscious gates. When you judge yourself relentlessly, those gates close. Treat yourself as someone you love, and your life will begin to reflect that love back to you. Try repeating softly within your mind, I am allowed to receive more. Feel how those words rearrange your energy. Feel the subtle expansion in your chest. Feel the resistance loosening. These phrases are not just affirmations. They are frequency codes. They awaken dormant soul memories, reminding you of your inherent value. As you speak them, you shift timelines, stepping toward a reality shaped by acceptance rather than doubt. Let this chapter settle gently into your heart. You deserve the life you imagine, not because you've earned it through effort, but because your existence itself is enough. When you honor your worth, the universe aligns with your remembrance. Raise the tone of your self-worth and watch the world rise to meet it. You are worthy now. You were worthy then. You will always be worthy. And your life will transform as you learn to believe it. Chapter 13. Receiving is an art. There is a moment in every journey when you realize that asking is only half of the equation. The other half is allowing. Many people pray, manifest, visualize, yet unknowingly resist the very blessings they seek. Receiving is not passive. It is an energetic openness, a softening of the grip around old fears and expectations. When you learn to receive, you shift from scarcity into flow. You make room for the universe to move toward you. Often the blocks to receiving are quiet and unconscious. Guilt whispers that you don't deserve good things. Habit convinces you to overgive, hoping worthiness will be earned. Fear warns that accepting too much will lead to disappointment. These beliefs become walls around the heart, preventing blessings from entering. The universe may send opportunities, but if your hands are closed, nothing can land. Receiving requires trust in your own enoughness. Think back to times when life offered you support. Perhaps a compliment, a gift, a chance, a helping hand, and you brushed it away. You may have said, "It's nothing, I'm fine," or "I don't want to bother anyone." Yet, each dismissal taught your energy to reject abundance. You signaled to the universe that you were not ready to hold more. But now, you're learning a new pattern, one where acceptance is strength, not weakness. Receiving begins with giving yourself permission. Permission to rest. Permission to be loved. Permission to accept help. Permission to enjoy what arrives without questioning its validity. When you say yes to these small moments, you train your subconscious to welcome bigger blessings. The soul opens gradually like a flower after a long winter. And once it opens, everything you've been calling in can finally approach. Many fear that accepting more makes them selfish, but generosity flows naturally from those who feel full. A depleted heart cannot overflow. A nourished heart shares effortlessly. When you allow yourself to receive, you expand your capacity to give from a place of authenticity rather than sacrifice. True giving is not an attempt to earn love. It is the natural expression of someone who already feels whole. Pay attention to the sensations in your body when something good comes your way. Does your chest tighten? Do you feel unworthy? Do you wait for it to be taken away? These reactions reveal your relationship with receive it instead of pushing the feeling aside. Breathe into it. Let your body learn a new response. Openness instead of tension. Curiosity instead of fear. This is how you rewire your energetic pathways. Try whispering this gently with it. I allow good things to reach me. Feel it echo through your field. Notice the warmth that follows. The subtle recognition that you have held yourself back from what was meant for you. This phrase is an activation. It reminds your inner gatekeeper that it is safe to expand, safe to welcome, safe to be supported. You were never meant to walk your path deprived of nourishment. As this chapter integrates into your being, remember that receiving is a sacred skill, one that awakens your magnetic self and aligns you with abundance. Stop resisting the gifts that approach you. Stop questioning the blessings designed for your timeline. Open your hands, soften your heart, and let life meet you. The universe cannot pour into what is closed, but into an open vessel it flows endlessly. Chapter 14. Your feelings are feedback. Every emotion you experience carries a message, a gentle signal from within that something needs attention, understanding, or expression. Feelings are not inconveniences to be managed. They are guides. They reveal the truth beneath your thoughts, the patterns beneath your behavior, and the needs beneath your silence. When you begin to honor your emotions instead of suppressing them, your inner world becomes clearer, calmer, and more aligned. You may have been taught to ignore your feelings, to stay strong, to move on quickly, or to keep everything inside. But burying emotion does not dissolve it. It stores it. It compresses it into the subconscious, influencing your reactions and shaping your decisions in ways you don't consciously recognize. Feelings that are not expressed become energy that seeks release through triggers, patterns, or sudden waves of overwhelm. Think of anger not as something destructive, but as a signal that a boundary has been crossed, or sadness not as weakness, but as a sign that something meaningful needs acknowledgement, or anxiety not as a flaw, but as a message that a part of you feels unsafe or unheard. When you stop judging these emotions and start listening to them, you unlock the wisdom they have been holding on your behalf. Even joy is feedback. It tells you what aligns with your spirit, what nourishes your soul, what expands your energy. When you follow the thread of joy, your life unfolds with more ease. Joy is not random. It is directional. It points you toward environments, people, and choices that elevate your frequency. Learning to trust your joy is as important as learning to understand your pain. Most people fear their emotions because they believe feeling them will consume them. But emotions move through you like weather, passing, shifting, evolving. They only become storms when you resist them. Allowing yourself to feel is not the same as drowning in feeling. It is witnessing the emotion with compassion, letting it rise and fall without clinging to its story. In this witnessing, emotional intelligence awakens. When you sit with your feelings, you create space for healing. You become the observer rather than the reactor. This is where transformation begins. The moment you stop fighting what you feel, the emotion loosens its grip. It softens. It teaches. It reveals the truth without distortion. Every emotion becomes a doorway to deeper self-awareness when you approach it with openness instead of fear. Try pausing now and noticing what emotion sits closest to the surface. You don't need to change it. Simply acknowledge it. Place gentle awareness on it as though you are holding a small flame in your hands. Ask it what it wants you to understand. Ask it what it needs. This simple act of recognition shifts your energy, bringing you into alignment with your own inner rhythm. As this chapter settles into your consciousness, let the truth root itself deeply within you. Your emotions are not problems. They are messages. They are your internal navigation system guiding you toward healing, clarity, and alignment. When you honor your feelings, you honor your soul. And when you honor your soul, the universe responds with synchronicities that match your newfound self-awareness. Chapter 15. What you resist persists. There are parts of yourself you've tried to outrun. Old fear, buried memories, emotions you believed were too heavy to hold. Yet, no matter how far you run, they seem to circle back, appearing in new forms, new situations, new people. This is not a curse. It is a call. What you resist does not vanish. It lingers at the edge of your awareness, waiting for acknowledgement. Resistance gives the wound power. Acceptance dissolves it. You may have noticed how the very patterns you try hardest to avoid continue to show up. The relationship dynamic you swore you were done with, the insecurity you thought you buried, the fear you tried to silence. These repetitions are not failures. They are invitations. The universe repeats what you refuse to face, not to punish you, but to free you. Healing begins the moment you stop pushing the pain away. Imagine standing in front of a locked door. The more you push against it, the heavier it feels. But when you step back, when you soften your stance, the door opens inward. Your inner world works the same way. The tension you carry around old wounds tightens your energy. It closes your nervous system. It amplifies fear. But when you soften, when you approach the discomfort with curiosity instead of judgment, everything begins to shift. Avoidance creates friction. Acceptance creates flow. This does not mean you must enjoy the discomfort or welcome suffering. It simply means allowing the emotion to exist without denial. When you refuse to look at your pain, you carry it everywhere. When you finally turn toward it, you release the weight you never needed to hold. Healing is not confrontation. It is compassion toward the parts of you that ache. Think about the moments when you finally faced something you feared, the relief that followed, the clarity that rose, the strength you didn't know you had. Resistance kept you frozen, but acceptance set you free. The pain was never as powerful as the story surrounding it. When the story dissolves, the wound breathes. And when the wound breathes, it heals. This is the quiet alchemy that transforms your inner landscape. Your emotions are not enemies. They are signals. They reveal where love is needed, where boundaries are missing, where memories remain unprocessed. When you resist them, they grow louder. When you welcome them, they soften. Resistance blinds you to the lesson. Acceptance illuminates the truth. Every painful emotion carries a message, and once understood, it no longer needs to return with such force. Try this gentle practice now. Bring to mind something you've been avoiding. Instead of pushing it away, place a soft awareness around it. Breathe into the space it occupies. Ask it what it wants to show you. Ask it what it needs from you. This simple shift from resistance to witnessing invites healing energies to flow through your field. The subconscious gatekeeper relaxes. The fear loses its grip. As this chapter integrates into your spirit, embrace this truth with tenderness. What you resist persists, but what you face transforms. You are not fragile. You are capable of meeting your shadows with grace. When you finally turn toward what frightens you, you reclaim the parts of yourself that have been waiting for your return. And in that reclamation, you rise into a fuller, freer version of who you are meant to be. Chapter 16. Intuition is your superpower. Within you lives a compass untouched by logic, a quiet intelligence that knows truth before your mind can name it. This inner knowing has whispered to you in moments of stillness, in moments of uncertainty, and even in moments of fear. Intuition is not a gift reserved for the few. It is a natural sense, a soul signal guiding you toward alignment. When you learn to trust it, you unlock a form of wisdom that cannot be taught, only remembered. There have been times when you felt an unexplainable pull toward something, or away from something, and you later discovered how accurate that instinct was. These were not coincidences. They were confirmations of the clarity within you. Intuition rarely shouts. It arrives as a nudge, a sensation, a subtle warning, or a quiet yes. The ego demands evidence, but intuition offers direction without explanation. Trusting it requires courage. Most people confuse intuition with fear, but the two feel different. Fear contracts. It tightens the chest and narrows the mind. Intuition expands. It softens the body and opens awareness. Fear predicts danger based on the past. Intuition reveals possibility based on alignment. When you learn to distinguish them, your path becomes clearer. You stop mistaking your wounds for wisdom and begin hearing the true voice beneath the noise. Think of times when you ignored your inner knowing and regretted it. A relationship you entered despite warning signs. An opportunity you declined though something inside said yes. A situation you stayed in long after your soul whispered leave. These experiences were not failures. They were lessons in discernment. They strengthened your ability to recognize your inner voice the next time it speaks. Intuition connects you to the quantum field, the unseen realm where timelines and possibilities exist before they manifest. It senses what your mind cannot yet perceive. It feels the frequency of people, places, and choices. When you follow its guidance, your life begins to unfold with synchronicities that seem almost magical. Doors open effortlessly, answers appear, paths smooth themselves. This is not luck. This is alignment with your deeper knowing. Your intuition strengthens through presence. When your mind is loud, your inner guidance becomes faint. But when you breathe, ground, and return to the moment. Intuition rises. It emerges in the space between thoughts, in the pause before action, in the stillness beneath emotion. The more you listen, the louder it becomes. The more you trust, the clearer its direction. Intuition grows through use, not avoidance. Try pausing now and asking yourself a simple question, one you don't overthink. Notice the very first feeling or image that emerges. That immediate signal before doubt creeps in is your intuition. It speaks in immediacy. It speaks in simplicity. It speaks from the body rather than the mind. Let this small practice remind you of the wisdom you carry, the inner guidance that has been waiting for your attention. As this chapter settles into you, remember this truth. Your intuition is not a luxury. It is your birthright. It is the voice of your soul, the map of your destiny, the thread connecting you to every aligned timeline. Honor it. Trust it. Let it lead you. You were not meant to navigate life blindfolded. You were given an inner lighthouse that illuminates what your eyes cannot see, and it has been guiding you all along. Chapter 17. Healing is non-linear. Healing does not unfold in a straight line. It spirals, curves, expands, and contracts, moving with a rhythm that defies prediction. One day you may feel clear and open, and the next you may feel pulled backward by emotions you thought you had already released. This is not regression. This is integration. The soul does not rush. It revisits what needs tending until every part of you feels safe enough to move forward. You may have felt discouraged when old wounds resurfaced, believing you were failing or slipping into old patterns. But healing is not measured by how quickly you rise. It is measured by how gently you return to yourself. Each wave that returns carries new insight, new perspective, new strength. You are not repeating the same pain. You are meeting it from a higher level of awareness each time. Sometimes the light feels far away. Sometimes your heart feels exhausted from carrying memories that never asked for your permission. But even on the days when progress feels invisible, something within you is shifting. The body remembers safety slowly, like learning a new language. The mind unravels old beliefs gradually. The heart opens, closes, and opens again. Healing is a sacred unfolding, not a performance. Think of the moments when you felt broken, only to discover later that those very moments were teachers. They shaped your resilience. They awakened compassion. They introduced you to parts of yourself you had forgotten. Healing is not about removing pain. It is about transforming your relationship with it. Once you understand the message beneath the emotion loses its grip. There will be days when you feel strong and aligned, and days when doubt returns like a shadow. Do not judge these fluctuations. They are evidence that you are evolving. Growth requires time, rest, repetition, and softness. Every time you choose awareness over avoidance, you strengthen the foundation beneath your transformation. The spiral brings you back to familiar places, but never as the same person. Your triggers are not signs of failure. They are indicators of where your soul is ready to grow next. When something stirs you deeply, it is calling for presence, not shame. Sit with it. Breathe into it. Let it speak. What once felt overwhelming may now feel navigable because you have changed. The wound may look the same, but you have become wiser, more grounded, more attuned to your inner truth. Try placing a hand over your heart now and whispering, "I am healing," even when it doesn't look like it. Feel the truth of those words settling into your body. Healing is not an arrival. It is a relationship with yourself. Some days you lead, some days you rest. Both are sacred. Both are necessary. Allow the process to move through you without demanding perfection. As this chapter integrates into your awareness, embrace the beauty of your non-linear journey. You are unfolding in divine timing, not human timing. Nothing is wrong with your pace. Nothing is out of order. Every step forward, sideways, or seemingly backward is part of the recalibration of your spirit. Trust the spiral. Trust the process. Trust yourself. Your healing is happening in ways you cannot yet see. Chapter 18. Relationships are mirrors. Every person who enters your life reflects something back to you. Some hidden truth, some unhealed wound, some radiant potential. Relationships are not random encounters. They are sacred exchanges. They show you where you are aligned and where you are fragmented. They reveal what you cling to, what you fear, and what you have forgotten about your own light. When you learn to see relationships as mirrors, you step into a new dimension of self-awareness. At times, the reflection is gentle, filled with harmony, ease, and understanding. These bonds remind you of your worth, your kindness, your capacity for connection. They show you the parts of yourself that have healed. Yet other reflections arrive through conflict, disappointment, or unmet expectations. These relationships are not punishments. They illuminate the wounds that still need tending, the beliefs that need dissolving, the boundaries that need strengthening. Think about the people who triggered the deepest emotions within you. Their presence stirred something unresolved. Perhaps they awakened abandonment you carried from childhood, or exposed patterns you learned long ago. This does not mean they were meant to stay forever. Some mirrors are temporary but essential. They appear to show you what can no longer remain hidden. And once the lesson is revealed, the reflection may fade. Even the most painful connections hold meaning. The heartbreak that shattered you showed you what you were settling for. The betrayal that wounded your trust taught you discernment. The distance that grew between you and someone you loved guided you toward independence. Every relationship, whether nurturing or challenging, has contributed to your evolution. Each one shaped the architecture of your inner world. Relationships also highlight your patterns, how you communicate, how you withdraw, how you protect yourself, how you open. When you observe these patterns without judgment, you reclaim your power. You stop repeating cycles unconsciously. You begin choosing connections that align with your growth rather than your wounds. You step out of old loops and into relationships that elevate your spirit instead of draining it. Consider the moments when someone saw potential in you that you couldn't yet see. Their belief became a mirror of your future self. Or the times when someone's behavior felt familiar in a way you couldn't explain. That familiarity pointed to a lesson repeating itself. Relationships are teachers disguised as companions, guides, challengers, or soul contracts. Their impact echoes long after the connection shifts. Try observing your current relationships through this lens. What is this person showing me about myself? Not from blame, but from curiosity. Are they reflecting my strength, my insecurity, my desire for more, my fear of loss? When you tune into these reflections, you understand yourself with greater clarity. You stop projecting, stop blaming, and begin seeing the deeper truth beneath every interaction. As the essence of this chapter settles into you, remember that you are also a mirror. You reflect truth, wounds, hope, and transformation in those around you. You play a role in their evolution, just as they play a role in yours. Honor these exchanges. Release what is complete. Cherish what is aligned. And view every connection, past, present, or future, as a sacred mirror, inviting you into a deeper remembering of who you truly are. Chapter 19. You are already whole. There is a quiet truth beneath every layer of fear, doubt, and conditioning. Nothing about you is missing. You came into this life complete, carrying wisdom older than your body, carrying light that no darkness could diminish. Wholeness is not a destination you must reach. It is the essence you began with. The journey is not about becoming someone new. It is about remembering who you have always been beneath the noise. You may have spent years believing you were broken, that something in you needed fixing before you were allowed to rise. But brokenness is an illusion created by comparison, by rejection, by unmet expectations. The soul does not break. It hides. It retreats behind the protective layers you built to survive. Those layers were shields, not flaws. They preserved your softness until you were ready to reclaim it. Think of all the versions of you that believed they were not enough. The child who felt unseen. The teenager trying to fit into shapes that were not hers. The adult searching for validation in places that could never provide it. These versions of you were never lacking, only unaware of their own brilliance. Each carried a piece of the truth you are remembering now. Your value was never up for negotiation. Wholeness becomes clearer when you stop defining yourself by wounds. A wound is an experience, not an identity. It may have shaped you, but it does not limit you. You are not the abandonment that happened. You are not the failure you fear. You are not the mistakes you carry. You are the awareness that grew from them. You are the resilience that formed beneath them. You are the consciousness that outlived them. Every part of you belongs, even the ones you have rejected. The fear that once protected you, the anger that demanded boundaries, the sadness that asked for rest, the longing that pointed toward your destiny. These aspects are not problems to eliminate. They are fragments of your wholeness waiting to be embraced. Healing is not erasing your past. It is folding every piece back into unity. Notice how your energy shifts when you stop striving to become worthy and start remembering that you already are. The body relaxes. The mind softens. The heart opens. When you walk with the understanding that nothing is wrong with you, you stop chasing external validation. You stop shrinking to fit into the expectations of others. You begin making choices aligned with authenticity rather than approval. Try placing your palms over your heart and whispering, "I return to myself." Feel the warmth beneath your hands. Feel the steady beat that has carried you through every season of your life. That heartbeat is proof of your wholeness, proof that you have never been alone, never been abandoned by your own soul, never been anything less than complete. The remembering happens gently, one breath at a time. Let this chapter settle into your being like a soft truth finally spoken aloud. You do not need to earn your right to exist, to love, to heal, or to expand. You have always been enough, before the pain, during the growth. And now in this moment of awakening, as you walk forward, walk with the knowing that you are not fixing yourself. You are meeting yourself. You are reclaiming yourself. You are already whole. Chapter 20. Desire is divine. There is a sacred spark within every longing you feel, a quiet fire pointing you toward the next expression of your soul. Desire is not vanity. Desire is not greed. Desire is guidance. It is the language your higher self uses to reveal what you are meant to expand into. When you honor your desires instead of suppressing them, you begin aligning with the life your spirit has been gently calling you toward. You may have been taught to fear your desires, to shrink them, or to judge them as selfish. But the universe does not plant dreams in you without purpose. Each one carries a frequency, a direction, a meaning. Desire shows you where your energy wants to flow next. When you ignore it, you dim your own magnetic field. When you embrace it, you activate the version of yourself capable of receiving it. Think of the dreams that continue to return. No matter how much you try to silence them, they revisit you because they are part of your blueprint. They are woven into your timeline, waiting for you to say yes. Desire does not fade because it is unrealistic. It fades when you stop believing in the part of yourself that birthed it. And yet, even in silence, it waits with patience, ready to rise again the moment you feel safe to want more. Desire is not always loud. Sometimes it appears as a gentle pull toward a new path, a creative spark, a shift in your environment, or a craving for deeper connection. Sometimes it feels like restlessness, as though your soul is nudging you toward a larger horizon. These are not random feelings. They are signals that your next chapter is forming, asking you to follow what feels alive rather than what feels familiar. There is a powerful truth hidden beneath every desire. Expansion. Your soul wants to grow, not just spiritually, but through experience, expression, creation, and embodiment. To deny your desires is to deny your evolution. When you allow yourself to want more peace, more depth, more abundance, more love, you open a door for the universe to deliver the next level of your becoming. Desire is the map, not the obstacle. You may fear wanting too much because of past disappointments, but those disappointments did not mean your desires were wrong. They meant your alignment was still forming. Desire often arrives before readiness, calling you to rise into the version of yourself who can receive. Let the fear soften. Let the shame dissolve. Your desire is not asking you to prove anything. It is asking you to grow into your truth. Try whispering this softly to your inner world. What I want is sacred. Feel how those words shift your energy. Feel the permission they create. Feel how your chest opens just a little more. When you treat your desires as divine, you treat your life as meaningful. You stop apologizing for wanting and you begin trusting the intelligence behind your longing. In that trust, manifestation gains momentum. Let this chapter root itself deeply within your awareness. Your desires are not random cravings. They are soul-coded instructions. They reveal your direction, your potential, your next alignment. When you honor them, you honor the universe working through you. When you follow them, you step into timelines meant only for you. Allow your desires to guide you. They are divine. They are intentional. They are yours for a reason. Chapter 21. The Power of Surrender. There comes a time when holding on becomes heavier than letting go. When control exhausts the spirit and surrender becomes the only path that feels true. Surrender is not defeat. It is the release of resistance. It is the softening of the heart that allows life to finally meet you where you are. When you stop wrestling with what must shift, you make room for the universe to move in ways your mind could never orchestrate. You may have tried to plan every detail, forcing outcomes, pushing timelines, shaping your reality through sheer effort. Yet, you have noticed that control often tightens your energy, making life feel rigid and unresponsive. The more you grasp, the more things slip through your fingers. Surrender does not mean abandoning your desires. It means allowing them to unfold without strangling them with expectation. It means trusting the timing you cannot yet see. Think back to the moments when life surprised you, not through force, but through flow. Opportunities arrived when you least expected them. A solution emerged after you released the problem. A connection appeared once you stopped chasing it. These were demonstrations of surrender at work, the universe stepping in when you stepped back. Life does not bloom under pressure. It blooms under openness. Surrender invites a deeper wisdom to guide you, one beyond the mind's limited perspective. Your mind sees only fragments. Your soul sees the full landscape. When you try to control every outcome, you limit what can reach you. But when you release your grip, you expand your field of possibility. Suddenly, you become available for opportunities that were blocked by your insistence on a specific path. There is a sacred intelligence woven into the fabric of your journey. Even the detours carry purpose. Even the delays hold meaning. When you surrender, you stop resisting the lessons that shape you. You stop clinging to what has expired. You stop demanding answers prematurely. You create space for clarity to find you instead of chasing it endlessly. In surrender, your nervous system relaxes. Your intuition strengthens. Your energy realigns. You may fear surrender because it asks you to trust without guarantees. But consider how many times life has held you even when you doubted. You have survived every uncertainty before this one. You have walked through storms you thought would break you, and yet you are here listening, awakening, expanding. Surrender asks you to remember that you are supported even when you cannot see the hands holding you. Try speaking these words gently within your chest. I allow life to unfold for me. As you breathe into them, notice the softening that takes place. Notice how your body responds to permission rather than force. Surrender is not passive. It is receptive. It is the decision to collaborate with the universe rather than control it. It is the willingness to trust that what is meant for you cannot be taken from you. Let this chapter settle into your being like a warm night wind. You do not need to figure everything out. You do not need to push your way into alignment. Step back. Breathe. Let the universe rearrange the pieces you cannot see. Surrender is not letting life happen to you. It is letting life happen through you. And in that surrender, your path becomes smoother. Your energy becomes clearer. And the next door appears as if by magic. Chapter 22. Daily Rituals. Cosmic Results. There is a quiet magic in the routines you repeat. A subtle alchemy woven through the smallest actions of your day. Rituals may seem ordinary, but when infused with intention, they reshape your inner world. A breath taken consciously, a moment of gratitude, a few minutes of stillness. These create ripples in your energy field. Over time, those ripples become waves of transformation. Tiny shifts open portals that effort alone cannot. You may think grand change requires grand action, but the universe responds more to consistency than intensity. A short morning practice done with presence is more powerful than an hour of forced meditation. A simple affirmation whispered daily has more impact than a single night of desperate prayer. Rituals stabilize your energy, making you a receptive vessel for guidance. They tune your frequency the way a musician tunes an instrument before playing. Think of the rituals you already carry. Your first breath upon waking, the way you set your feet on the floor, the thoughts that rise uninvited. These are rituals too, though often unconscious. When you bring awareness into these moments, you reclaim your power. You begin each day by choosing your vibration instead of inheriting it from yesterday's emotions. Intention turns habit into ceremony. Rituals also teach your subconscious to trust you. They create a rhythm of self-care that tells your inner world, I am safe, I am grounded, I am present. When the subconscious feels safe, it becomes more open to healing, rewiring, and receiving new patterns. A daily ritual becomes a bridge between who you have been and who you are becoming. It is the anchor that holds your evolution steady. You might believe you are simply lighting a candle or taking a slow breath, but these actions shift your entire field. A ritual is a signal to the universe. I am ready. I am listening. I am aligned. When you consistently return to yourself, your energy becomes clearer, calmer, more magnetic. The universe reads that clarity and responds, arranging circumstances with increasing precision. Try choosing one small ritual to begin or end your day. Something simple but intentional. Perhaps placing your hand on your heart and saying, I return to my center, or sitting in silence for a minute and noticing your breath, or writing a single gratitude each night. The ritual itself is not the power. The awareness you bring to it is what alters timelines. Presence is the key that unlocks cosmic results. Over time, these small acts accumulate. They rewire your responses. They strengthen your intuition. They help you recognize signs more quickly, trust yourself more deeply, and release resistance more easily. Life begins to feel less chaotic and more guided. You start meeting challenges with clarity instead of panic. This is the quiet, steady transformation only rituals can create. As you take in this chapter, let the truth settle gently within you. Change does not require force. It requires devotion. Rituals are not chores. They are gateways. Through them, you align your inner world with the frequency of the life you are calling in. Let each small practice become a thread that weaves your destiny. What you do with intention each day becomes the architecture of your future. Chapter 23. Gratitude changes frequency. There is a shift that happens the moment you turn your attention toward what is already working in your life. Gratitude is not merely a feeling. It is an energetic expansion. It stretches your awareness beyond lack and into abundance. When you practice gratitude, even in small doses, your vibration rises. And as your vibration rises, your reality begins to rearrange itself to match the frequency of appreciation rather than absence. You may have experienced how gratitude softens the edges of a difficult moment. A single thought, "Thank you for the lesson. Thank you for the strength. Thank you for the clarity," can transform heaviness into something more manageable. Gratitude does not erase hardship, but it changes the lens through which you view it. It reminds you that even in the darkest seasons, there are sparks of insight guiding you forward. Think of how often your mind gravitates toward what is missing. It is a natural human instinct trained through years of caution and conditioning. But when lack becomes your dominant focus, your energy contracts. You send out a signal of insufficiency. Gratitude reverses that pattern. By acknowledging even the smallest blessings, you expand your field. You begin to emit the frequency of fullness, drawing more experiences that reflect that fullness back to you. Gratitude is not limited to joy. It thrives in challenge. 2. When you find gratitude for the lessons, the growth, the resilience formed through struggle, you reclaim your power. You shift from victimhood to awareness. You stop seeing life as something happening to you and begin to see it as something responding to you. Gratitude is the bridge between reaction and alignment, between fear and trust. Some blessings hide behind discomfort. Some truths are delivered through loss. Some awakenings arrive wrapped in confusion. Gratitude helps you see the hidden architecture beneath these experiences. It reveals the purpose behind the delay, the wisdom within the detour, the clarity growing beneath the chaos. When you choose gratitude, you choose to interpret your life through the lens of possibility rather than limitation. Try bringing to mind one thing you appreciate right now, not something grand, but something simple, a breath, a memory, a moment of peace, a person who crossed your path. Notice how your body responds. Gratitude shifts your nervous system. It invites safety, presence, and openness. It allows your energy to rise into coherence, making you more receptive to guidance, inspiration, and synchronicity. Over time, gratitude becomes a magnetic force. It shapes your beliefs, influences your decisions, and opens doors you once felt unworthy to knock on. When you focus on what you have, you naturally align with more. When you appreciate what is, you create space for what could be. Gratitude is not an obligation. It is an activation. It rewires your inner world to receive abundance with ease. As you let this chapter settle into your awareness, remember that gratitude is not a task to complete, but a frequency to embody. You change your life every time you choose appreciation over fear, presence over worry, fullness over lack. Let gratitude become your compass. Let it tune your energy to the rhythm of abundance. When you cultivate gratitude, the universe responds in kind, delivering more reasons to whisper thank you. Chapter 24. Purpose finds you when you are ready. There is a quiet unfolding that happens beneath the surface of your life long before you realize you are being prepared for something greater. Purpose is not something you chase. It is something that emerges from your becoming. It waits patiently until your heart is open, your wounds are softening, and your awareness has expanded enough to recognize its call. When the inner soil is ready, purpose rises naturally like a seed. Remembering it can bloom. You may have spent years asking, "What is my purpose?" Feeling lost or behind as others seem to move with direction. But purpose does not reveal itself in a single moment. It speaks through curiosity, through longing, through subtle inclinations that return again and again. It shows itself in what moves you, what angers you, what inspires you, what you cannot ignore. Purpose is not a specific job. It is a frequency your soul resonates with. Think of the times when you felt an inexplicable pull toward something. A subject, a skill, a type of service, a dream that felt alive inside you. That pull was not random. It was a thread from your higher self, guiding you toward the path meant for you. Even when you did not follow it immediately, it stayed close, waiting. Purpose does not punish you for taking time. It simply waits until you're aligned enough to receive it fully. Often, purpose is born from your own healing. The wounds you have carried, the lessons you have learned, the resilience you have built. These become the foundation of your purpose. Not because pain defines you, but because it refines you. Your journey equips you with empathy, clarity, and depth. What once broke you becomes the doorway you help others walk through. Purpose grows from the soil of experience. There is also a misconception that purpose must be grand or dramatic. In truth, purpose often starts small. Quiet acts of kindness, moments of creativity, the desire to help one person, the urge to express something meaningful. These threads weave together slowly until one day you look back and realize they formed a path. Purpose does not arrive with a declaration. It reveals itself through alignment. When you stop forcing answers, your true direction becomes easier to sense. The pressure to figure it out clouds intuition. But when you relax into your journey, your energy becomes clear enough for purpose to reach you. It flows in through inspiration, synchronicity, opportunities, and the feeling of being magnetized towards something new. Purpose finds you when your heart is quiet enough to hear it. Try asking yourself not "What is my purpose?" but "What feels alive for me right now?" Follow that aliveness. Follow what expands your breath, sparks your curiosity, or stirs something ancient in your chest. Purpose is not a destination. It is a path of alignment revealed one intuitive step at a time. Each step prepares you for the next. Each moment shapes the clarity that will come. As this chapter settles into your awareness, trust that nothing about your timeline has been a mistake. You have not missed your calling. You have not fallen behind. Purpose arrives in divine timing, not human timing. And when it finds you, it will feel less like discovering something new and more like remembering something you have always known. You are closer to your purpose than you realize. It is already on its way. Chapter 25. Everything is working for you. There are seasons when life feels unkind, when challenges pile upon one another and the path ahead looks confusing or unfair. In those moments, it is easy to believe the universe has turned away from you. But beneath every difficulty lies a deeper orchestration. Nothing in your experience is random. Every shift, every delay, every ending is part of a greater pattern shaping you into who you are becoming. Everything is working for you, even when it feels otherwise. You may look back on moments that once felt devastating only to realize they redirected you toward alignment. The job you did not get made space for the one that fit your purpose. The person who left cleared room for authentic connection. The plan that fell apart freed you from something too small for your expansion. Life has been rearranging itself, not to punish you, but to guide you. What felt like loss was often protection. Think of how many times you were kept from something you thought you wanted, only to discover later why it was not aligned. The universe sees beyond your current perspective. It knows the timeline you cannot yet perceive. When something does not unfold as you hoped, it is because there is a better alignment forming in the unseen. Trust is not about ignoring difficulty. It is about recognizing a deeper intelligence at work behind it. Every challenge carries a lesson designed for your growth. Some teach resilience, some teach boundary, some teach self-love, some teach surrender. When you shift from asking, "Why is this happening to me?" to "What is this preparing me for?" your entire relationship with life transforms. You stop viewing obstacles as enemies and start seeing them as initiations into your next level of evolution. Even in moments of confusion, the universe communicates. A delay may mean not yet. A detour may mean try another way. A closed door may mean there is something better. The key is learning to interpret these signs with openness instead of resistance. When you trust the process, fear loosens its grip. You begin to feel guided instead of abandoned, supported instead of challenged, directed instead of derailed. Your life has been shaped by invisible threads of synchronicity, chance encounters, intuitive nudges, inner callings, unexpected changes. These threads have woven together into a path uniquely yours. Even your hardships have played a role, refining your spirit, sharpening your intuition, strengthening your boundaries. Nothing has been wasted. Not your tears, not your longing, not your setbacks. All have contributed to your becoming. Try placing your awareness on one difficult moment from your past and asking gently, "What did this teach me? How did this shift me?" Notice how the answers rise. Notice how clarity emerges with distance. This is proof that life carries wisdom beneath every experience. And if the past held meaning, the present does too, even if you cannot see it yet. Something is being rearranged in your favor. As you absorb this chapter, allow its truth to settle deep into your spirit. You are not walking a path of accidents. You are walking a path of alignment. Life is not working against you. It is shaping you, preparing you, positioning you for what matches your soul's frequency. Trust that what feels unclear now will make sense later. Everything is working for your growth, your expansion, and your destiny, always. Chapter 26. The courage to begin again. There will be moments in your journey when life asks you to lay everything down. The plans you made, the identities you wore, the chapters you outgrew, and start again. Beginning again is not evidence of failure. It is evidence of evolution. It means you have reached the edge of an old timeline and are being invited into a new one. It takes courage to release what once sustained you, but even greater courage to trust the unknown rising to replace it. You may feel the weight of starting over, the uncertainty that comes with stepping into unfamiliar terrain. But remember the times you began again before, moments that felt impossible yet led you somewhere meaningful. You have rebuilt yourself more than once, even without realizing it. Every reinvention has shaped your resilience. Every fresh start has sharpened your intuition. Beginning again is not a setback. It is a sacred reset. Think of how nature renews itself effortlessly. Forests regrow after fire. Rivers carve new paths after floods. Seasons shed their skin again and again. You too are part of this natural rhythm. Your spirit knows how to rise from endings. Your energy knows how to regenerate. The courage to begin again is not about knowing what comes next. It is about trusting that new life awaits on the other side of release. Often the first step is the hardest because it asks you to move without a guarantee. The mind fears uncertainty, but the soul thrives in it. Each time you take a step forward, no matter how small, you shift your frequency. You signal to the universe, "I am willing," and the universe responds with guidance, synchronicities, and opportunities that were invisible before your decision to rise. Beginning again also means letting go of the shame attached to past attempts. You are not meant to get everything right the first time. Growth is trial, error, awareness, and recalibration. When you release the pressure to be perfect, you free your energy to explore. You make space for creativity, curiosity, and clarity. The most aligned paths often emerge only after everything else has fallen away. There is beauty in the blank page of a new start. It holds endless possibility. It invites you to redefine what you want, who you are, and how you wish to live. Instead of fearing the unknown, try seeing it as unclaimed territory shaped by your intention. Beginning again allows you to build from your highest wisdom rather than old wounds. You start with more knowledge, more strength, and more self-awareness than ever before. Take a moment now and place a hand on your heart. Breathe deeply and whisper inwardly, "I am allowed to begin again." Feel the relief that follows. Feel the softening. Feel the sense of permission expanding through your chest. Every soul-level transformation begins with this moment of acceptance. This moment where you choose your growth over your fear, your future over your past, and your truth over your hesitation. As this chapter settles into your energy, trust that every new beginning in your life has been divinely timed. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting from wisdom. You are starting from strength. You are starting from a deeper version of yourself. Beginning again is not the end of your story. It is the moment your next chapter awakens. Chapter 27. Detaching from outcomes. There is freedom in the space between desire and expectation. Most suffering arises not from wanting, but from clinging. gripping too tightly to how and when something must arrive. Detachment is not indifference. It is trust. It is the quiet confidence that what is meant for you will come, even if it does not follow your timeline or look the way you imagined. When you release attachment, you release resistance, and when resistance fades, flow begins. You may have tried to force outcomes before, believing control would guarantee success. But the tighter you held, the more the outcome slipped through your fingers. This is not failure. It is energetic law. Clinging sends a message of fear, of lack, of disbelief. Detachment, on the other hand, sends a message of certainty. It says, I know this, or something better is already on its way. That calm expectancy is magnetic. Think about the times when the best things found you effortlessly, when you had let go, surrendered, moved on, or simply stopped worrying. That energetic release created a clear field for manifestation. The universe meets you most easily in spaciousness. Not obsession, it needs room to work. Your job is to hold the vision with clarity. Then let go of the timeline, method, and outcome. That is the path of alignment. Detachment requires you to move from needing to knowing. Needing is heavy. It creates pressure, urgency, and tension. Knowing is light. It carries peace, trust, and openness. You do not have to stop caring about what you want. You simply stop demanding that it unfold in only one way. You stop collapsing your energy around a single version of the future. In that release, infinite new paths become available. This does not mean you take no action. Detachment is not inaction. It is empowered surrender. You still move, still prepare, still align, but you do so without desperation. You do so from a grounded place. Knowing your worth is not determined by results. You walk toward your vision with your heart open, not clenched, and you remain available to surprises, upgrades, and redirections that your mind could not have planned. Notice when your energy becomes tight around a desire. Do you feel anxious, impatient, or discouraged? These are signs of attachment. Use them as invitations to return to presence. Return to your breath. Remind yourself that detachment is not about giving up. It is about rising above. It is about stepping back enough to see the bigger picture, to trust the unfolding that your limited view cannot yet perceive. Try saying this softly. I trust what is unfolding even when I do not understand it yet. Feel the truth of those words settle into your body. Notice how your nervous system responds. Notice the subtle expansion that follows. That is the shift from control to faith. That is the moment when your energy clears and your field becomes magnetic again. That is when miracles move toward you with ease. As this chapter integrates, remember that the power to manifest does not lie in obsession. It lies in alignment. Let your desires breathe. Let the universe move. You are not here to chase outcomes. You are here to embody truth. And when you do, the outcomes arrive without force, without struggle, without distortion. In the space of detachment, you become a true creator, one who trusts, one who receives, one who allows. Chapter 28. The universe works through you. There is a moment in your awakening when you realize you are not separate from the intelligence that shapes your path. You are an extension of it, a vessel through which guidance, creativity, intuition, and change express themselves. The universe does not simply act around you, it acts through you. Every inspired idea, every sudden clarity, every intuitive nudge is evidence of this collaboration. You are not alone in your becoming. You may have believed that divine force works outside of you, watching from above or moving pieces behind the scenes. But the truth is more intimate. The universe flows through your thoughts, your emotions, your desires, your gifts. When you follow what lights you up, you align with its current. When you step toward healing, you amplify its signal. You are a conduit of higher energy, shaping reality with every choice. Think about the times when a sudden inner knowing guided you toward the right decision, or when you spoke words that seemed to rise from a deeper well, or when you felt pulled to help someone without knowing why. These moments were not coincidences. They were transmissions. They were the universe using your voice, your hands, your presence to create expansion in the world. You were being moved by something larger than yourself. When you silence your intuition, ignore your desires, or shrink your truth, the connection dims, not because the universe withdraws, but because your energy becomes cluttered with doubt and fear. But when you clear space within through presence, through alignment, through stillness, you become a crystal channel. Guidance flows more freely. Inspiration comes more easily. Life responds to your openness with synchronicity. You were not born to merely observe the world. You were born to co-create with it. Your unique frequency influences everything around you. The people you meet, the opportunities you attract, the healing you inspire simply by being aligned. Even your presence in a room shifts its energy. You carry a field that interacts with the fields of others, creating small but powerful ripples. Never underestimate your impact. Consider the possibility that your gifts, passions, and talents are not random. They are tools the universe placed within you for a reason. What feels natural to you is often your soul's assignment. What excites you is often your next step. What comes through you is often meant for someone else as much as it is meant for you. You are a channel, not a container. What flows in is meant to flow out. Try taking a slow breath and imagining a light moving through your spine upward. Steady, intelligent. This is your connection to the unseen field. Place a hand on your heart and whisper, "I am guided. I am a vessel." Notice the calm that follows. Notice the shift. This truth has always been present. You are not creating alone. The universe is co-authoring your story through every moment of alignment. As this chapter settles into your awareness, embrace the truth that you are not waiting for magic. You are part of the magic. Your intuition is universal intelligence speaking. Your passion is universal energy moving. Your healing is universal expansion unfolding. The universe works through you because you are capable, open, and chosen for your path. Walk with that knowing now. Everything you touch can become a doorway for light. Chapter 29. Forgiveness is freedom. There is a quiet heaviness that lingers when we carry pain from the past. Unforgiveness binds us not to the moment it happened, but to the emotion we never allowed to move through. It becomes a loop repeating silently, influencing our energy, narrowing our capacity to receive. Forgiveness is not about condoning what hurt you. It is about releasing the emotional contract that keeps you tethered to the wound. You may have believed forgiveness is something you give to others, but in truth, it is something you give to yourself. It is the moment you decide to no longer let past harm dictate your future alignment. You do not forgive because someone earned it. You forgive because you are ready to live unburdened. Because you are ready to reclaim the parts of yourself still held hostage by the memory. Think of the energy it takes to relive what broke you, the replaying, the retelling, the guarding. Every time you return to the pain without release, you offer your power to it. But when you choose forgiveness, not because it is easy, but because it is freeing, you shift timelines. You open a portal for healing that allows you to finally walk forward instead of circling what was never yours to carry forever. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means remembering differently. It means choosing to see the pain as part of your initiation, not your identity. You still honor your emotions. You still acknowledge the truth, but you choose to let the story evolve. You choose to no longer bleed from a wound you have already survived. You become the healer instead of the hostage, the observer instead of the prisoner. Sometimes the person you most need to forgive is yourself, for what you did not know, for what you allowed, for the boundaries you did not set, for the versions of you that were still learning, still afraid, still seeking love in places that could not offer it. Offer that version of you grace now. Whisper to them, "I understand. I forgive you. We are free now," and feel the release begin. Forgiveness softens the body. It quiets the nervous system. It invites peace back into places that have known only defense. You do not need the apology to let go. You do not need closure from someone else to create it for yourself. Forgiveness is not a transaction. It is a reclamation. It is how you close chapters that never had a proper ending. It is how you end energetic agreements that have long expired. Try this practice gently. Bring to mind someone or some part of yourself you are ready to release. See them standing before you. Breathe deeply and say, "I release you from my field. I set myself free." Feel the weight lift. Feel the cord dissolve. Feel your energy return home to you. This is not imagination. It is energetic hygiene. You are clearing space for your future to enter without distortion. As this chapter anchors itself within you, know this truth fully. Forgiveness is not about who hurt you. It is about who you are ready to become. It is the act of choosing liberation over looping, expansion over bitterness, clarity over resentment. Let this be the moment you decide to be free. Free from the story, free from the pain, free to walk forward, lighter, open, whole. The future needs all of you, unbound. Chapter 30. Your future is listening. Every thought you project, every emotion you nurture, every intention you hold becomes a quiet signal released into the living field around you. You are not simply thinking, you are transmitting. You are impressing a pattern into possibility. The future is not fixed. It responds. It listens to your energy long before it becomes your experience. Your future self is shaped by the vibration you inhabit today. When you understand this, you stop speaking to tomorrow with habit and start speaking to it with clarity, with power, with purpose. Most people do not realize how often they script what is coming through fear and doubt. It never works out for me. I am not ready yet. I always mess it up. These are not harmless thoughts. They are instruction. They become a tone you broadcast. And the world answers tone more faithfully than it answers words. But the moment you shift your inner dialogue to something good is forming. I am moving into alignment. I am learning to receive. Your future begins rearranging itself to match that upward movement. You become the author rather than the echo. You stop repeating yesterday as if it is prophecy. In-depth psychology. This is the moment you stop identifying with the wounded narrator and return to the observing self. The part of you that can choose meaning. Jung called this a movement toward the self, a deeper center that is not trapped inside the moods of the moment. When you come back to that center, your life stops feeling like a reaction and starts feeling like a relationship. Think of a time when you held a quiet certainty, a gentle knowing that something was meant for you. That feeling was not imagination. It was resonance. It was your future self calling back to you, sending signals through intuition, dreams, synchronicities, and inner nudges. Sometimes it was not even a thought. It was a calm in your chest, a strange steadiness in your decisions, a clarity that arrived without proof. The timeline that matches your highest truth is always broadcasting. You hear it whenever you feel expansion. You hear it whenever something feels like destiny. Not because it is dramatic, but because it is clean. It is the difference between anxiety and recognition. Anxiety shouts. Recognition settles. Your future responds best when your energy is steady. Not perfect, steady. This is a crucial distinction. You do not need to perform positivity. You do not need to pretend you never fear. You only need to stop letting fear drive the pen. When you hold an inner frequency of trust, clarity, and openness, you signal to the universe that you are ready to receive. When you act in alignment with what you seek, even in small ways, you strengthen the connection between where you are and where you are going. Every aligned action is a bridge. Every aligned belief is a magnet. You can feel the difference between alignment and strain. Strain comes from trying to control outcomes. Alignment comes from becoming congruent. Your values, your choices, your self-talk, your nervous system, your attention, all pointing in the same direction. This is why steady energy matters. A steady signal is easier for life to answer than a chaotic broadcast. This does not mean forcing optimism. The future listens to authenticity, not performance. If you feel fear, acknowledge it. If you feel doubt, witness it. If you feel grief, let it move. Then choose a belief that aligns with where you want to go rather than where you have been. This is emotional maturity as spiritual practice. You honor what is real, and you refuse to make it final. Every time you choose expansion over contraction, your future rearranges. Every time you choose hope over hesitation, a new path opens. The universe moves with your inner shifts, because your inner shifts change what you notice, what you allow, and what you accept as possible. Try imagining your future self standing a few steps ahead, calm, grounded, fulfilled. See them not as a fantasy, but as a living potential already existing in the field. Ask them silently, "What do you need me to believe right now?" Then listen for the first feeling that arrives, not the loudest thought, the truest sensation. Notice how it softens something inside you. Notice how it creates space. This is not self-deception. This is communication across timelines. The same way a deeper layer of the psyche sends symbols upward when it wants to guide you. In Jungian terms, this is active imagination applied to your destiny. You are entering dialogue with the wiser part of you, the part that has already learned what you are still afraid to learn. The future you does not respond to your panic. It responds to your presence. It responds when you listen. When you speak to the future with intention through visualization, affirmation, and inspired action, you are not sending out empty wishes. You are tuning yourself to a frequency already available. You are practicing coherence. You are meeting the version of yourself who has already crossed the bridge you are approaching. Your future is not a mystery to be solved. It is a vibration to be matched. Hold that truth gently but powerfully. Your future is not waiting passively. It is listening. It is shaping. It is responding, not as punishment, not as reward, but as reflection. Life mirrors what you consistently inhabit. Every aligned thought draws it closer. Every aligned emotion strengthens it. Every aligned action materializes it. So speak with intention. Move with purpose. Trust the steady work of your own becoming. Trust that what you desire is already leaning toward you, not because you forced it, but because you finally learned how to meet it. Chapter 31. You are the sign. There is a moment in every seeker's path when they stop searching outside themselves and realize they are the message, the proof, the sign. You are not waiting for permission. You are not hoping for validation from the sky. The fact that you are here listening, awakening, feeling the pull of something deeper, that is the evidence. That is the activation. You are not lost. You are the light you were hoping to find. Yes, signs exist. Numbers, dreams, symbols, phrases from strangers, sudden coincidences that make your spine go still. Those are real. But the most powerful confirmation of your path is your own awareness. The shift in how you think, the expansion in what you feel, the hunger for something more truthful, the moment you cannot unsee what you have seen. These are not coincidences. These are soul signals, internal alignments guiding you toward the next phase of your evolution. They are the psyche returning to wholeness. They are the self calling you out of the persona, out of the roles you wore to survive, out of the false contracts you signed with fear. Think of the energy it takes to question your life, to break old patterns, to step into the unknown. That courage is a sign. That decision is a sign. You are already vibrating at a different level than before, and the universe has noticed. Timelines shift when perception shifts. Your outer world begins to reorganize because your inner world has stopped cooperating with illusion. You did not need to stumble upon this work. It found you because your frequency matched its call. The moment you were ready, the right language arrived. The right mirror appeared. That is how alignment works. You are the portal through which new patterns are created. Your healing ripples outward. Your clarity elevates others. The changes you make in silence send waves into everything around you. This is not poetic exaggeration. Human beings entrain. Nervous systems communicate. Presence transmits. Your choices become permission for someone else to choose differently. When you rise, you lift timelines. When you remember who you are, you help others remember. 2. This is how energy works. It spreads. It multiplies. It becomes culture. It becomes legacy. You are more influential than you have been led to believe. Many wait for a perfect moment, a louder sign, a thunderbolt of knowing. But the sacred often arrives as a whisper, a feeling in your chest, a phrase that lingers, a pull that makes no sense and yet feels like truth. This is the voice of your deeper intelligence, the part of you that has been watching for years. Patient, calm, steady. Trust that. Trust the gentle nudges. Trust that you are already in motion. You do not need more proof. You need more presence. You need to recognize yourself as the evidence of awakening. Try standing still, breathing deeply, and saying softly, "I am the sign I was waiting for." Then feel what shifts in your field when you say those words. Not what you think should happen. What actually happens. Feel the body respond. Feel the spine lengthen. Feel the mind quiet. Feel the power return. Feel the remembrance. When you stop outsourcing your guidance and turn inward, everything becomes clearer. You are not missing the signal. You are the signal. You are the message that your future self has already sent. Every insight you have had, every page you have turned, every tear you have shared, every boundary you have set, it all confirms your readiness. The universe speaks through your intuition, your breakthroughs, your quiet decisions to move differently. Your life does not need your explanation. It needs your embodiment. Stop doubting what has already been confirmed 100 different ways. You are the sign that the time is now. You are the evidence of alignment in motion. Let this chapter anchor in you like a mirror finally seen clearly. You are not hoping for change. You are becoming it. You are not asking for a path. You are walking it. You are not waiting for confirmation. It has already arrived in the form of your own voice, your own knowing, your own energy. You are the sign, and your life will now unfold in alignment with the one who finally remembers. Chapter 32. The journey has just begun. Not every ending is an exit. Some are entrances in disguise. What you once thought was a conclusion is now an initiation. This chapter, this moment, this version of you, it marks a threshold. The air feels different here because you have stepped beyond the familiar. You are no longer who you were when this began. And yet you are finally closer to who you have always been. You have walked through forgotten corridors of your own awareness. You have remembered truths that had no words. You have dissolved illusions that once defined you. What rises now is not a new identity, but a clearer frequency. Not a mask polished to impress the world, but a presence rooted in truth. The book did not change you. It reflected you. It revealed the codes hidden in your own soul's blueprint. You activated what was already dormant within you. And though the words may come to a close, The wisdom continues to echo in the silence between your thoughts, in the alignment of your choices, in the field around your body that now speaks a new language. Do not rush to figure out the next step. Instead, let the next step recognize the new you. When your vibration shifts, your life rearranges to match. This is why the old urgency must be released. Urgency is often a disguise for mistrust. Devotion is quieter. It is the daily decision to live as who you already are. The universe is not finished. It has only just begun its dance with your remembering. It will now respond more clearly, more rapidly, more directly. You will see signs where you saw noise. You will sense guidance where there was confusion. You will feel doors open because you stopped begging the door and started becoming the person who belongs on the other side of it. The path is not a straight road. It is a spiral staircase. With each turn, you rise higher into your own sacred remembering. You revisit themes not because you failed, but because you are deepening. The spiral is not repetition. It is refinement. Take a breath and feel into your future. Not the one you hoped for from fear, but the one you now allow from alignment. It is not built through control, but through surrender. You have done the work of remembering. Now trust what unfolds. Keep the rituals. Keep the truth. Keep the softness. But release the old urgency. You are already where you need to be, and the next phase will meet you as you remain available, not frantic. If doubt ever returns, return here to this frequency, to this inner posture, to the version of yourself that knows repetition is not failure, it is devotion. You spiral back not to begin again, but to deepen what you have begun. Growth is not linear. Awakening is not a destination. The journey continues each moment you choose presence over performance, truth over image, courage over comfort. Let others find you by the light you now carry. Let your calm be louder than your explanation. You will not need to prove your transformation. Your frequency will speak first. Your vibration will introduce you, and those meant to align with you will feel it. You are now a living transmission of the truth you have reclaimed. And so, as the final words settle into your soul, let them not be a goodbye, but a blessing. Walk forward not as a seeker, but as a signal. Let the path unfold beneath your trust. Let the mystery stay sacred. Remember, this was never the end. This was the door. You were never waiting for the journey. You are the journey finally remembered. The path you have walked through these pages was never about becoming someone else. It was about remembering. Remembering the codes you were born with. Remembering that you were always the one. The miracles you have sought. The clarity you have prayed for. The signs you have begged to appear. They were hidden inside the stillness of your being. You did not come here to be fixed. You came here to be revealed. And now, revealed you are. Breathe into this moment. Feel how different you are. Not because the world changed, but because you remembered your power within it. Let this closing not be an end, but a sacred return. The return to your knowing, the return to your frequency, the return to the part of you that no longer chases, but magnetizes. Walk with trust now. Speak with vibration. Live as the embodiment of the field you have attuned to. You are no longer becoming. You are being. If this journey stirred something ancient within you, if it cracked something open or gently healed something tender, leave a mark of your remembering in the comments. Speak these sacred words. I am the frequency the universe responds to. Let them echo into the collective. Let others feel your light and find their way home. And if you want more chapters like this, more transmissions that blend spirituality, depth psychology, and the lived craft of inner transformation, subscribe to Mind Unlocked Audiobooks. Share this with someone who is standing at their own threshold. The journey continues, and you do not have to walk it alone. You are ready. You are aligned. You are remembered.